All right, hey everyone. I'm Cameron Motevasselani. I'm a software engineer over here at Armory. I'm also the co-lead for the platform SIG. So today we're going to be talking about secrets management, a topic I'm sure we're all excited to hear about. So secrets, what are those? Because we talk about secrets, but they could be many different things. So secrets can be things such as passwords. In the case of Spinnaker, we're talking about items such as Jenkins passwords in your configs. For tokens, we have Slack tokens in our configs. There's also keys, like S3 secret access keys, and files as well, such as kubeconfig files. So there's a few different types of secrets that we deal with as DevOps people, right? So there's application secrets. And those are things such as like database credentials. There's also Spinnaker secrets, and those are secrets for more like managing the infrastructure, accessing the code, etc. These are the keys to your kingdom, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is Spinnaker secrets. So just to clear that up, not application secrets, this is Spinnaker secrets. So what's the motivation behind wanting to do secrets management? Right now, you can have your secrets in your configs in plain text. Like, what's wrong with that, right? Well, these guys. If a malicious actor gets access to your HAL configs or your Spinnaker configs, then they have the keys to your kingdom as well. They can do anything that Spinnaker can do. And Spinnaker does a lot of stuff. It touches a lot of different parts of your system. They can take down your systems. They can lock you out of accounts. Even worse, they can add their own services and augment existing ones, right? So your service is still up and running. How are you going to know if it's not doing a great job? So another motivation is this term called GitOps. It's a portmanteau of Git and operations. Who would have thought, right? But what exactly is GitOps? Does anyone have a solid guess, or like they know what GitOps is? Can I see a raise of hands? Right, exactly. DevOps, or GitOps, kind of similar to DevOps, there was no clear definition at first, and there still isn't. I think over time we'll slowly converge to a definition of what GitOps is, but I've seen so many different definitions online about what people think it is and what it's used for, etc. For today, though, we're going to be talking about declarativeness, let's say. In the case of Spinnaker, we're talking about infrastructure as code. So YAML describes the desired state of your installation. So again, today we're going to be talking about desired state stored in source control. And what we really want to use GitOps for is we want to enable operations to manage their infrastructure via pull requests. Why is that so great, right? If you can do pull requests, then you can have extra insight or extra oversight, let's say, into the work that you're doing. It helps reduce fat fingering, etc. And why can't we do this today? As I said, secrets would be in plain text in your configuration, so you could store your configs in Git today and just do this. But again, your secrets are in plain text. There's many horror stories online of people's keys being leaked, and there are improvements in this area, like AWS and GitHub. They scan PRs or scan commits and say, hey, we found this access key, we're going to revoke it, et cetera, et cetera. This causes interruption in services, and it's not a great thing. It can also cause loss of profit as well as a reputation hit. If you're working in certain industries, especially like security or financial tech, this is not a good thing. So before secrets management, there were workarounds, right? So how do you want to store your secrets? Or safely store your secrets, let's say. You could check your whole HAL config, your whole config file into Vault or S3 in a protected bucket, right? So that works. It does not enable GitOps, right? It also has some other issues that we'll talk about in a sec. You can also keep your HAL configs on a laptop and have the secrets on a trusted laptop. But then you need to share them at some point because you don't want your one person to have the secrets on their laptop, and now they're a single point of failure. They leave the company, they become not very happy, let's say. You can be in a world of hurt. You can also fat finger a config value. So you're typing in, copying and pasting a password. Maybe you accidentally hit another V or something when you're trying to paste, and now guess what? Your deploy is going to fail. Hopefully you have automated rollbacks in place. And as well, how do you ensure the file is actually removed from the laptop after it's being used? You keep doing this, and all of a sudden you have the configs with all these secrets in them spread across all your users' laptops, your Spinnaker operators' laptops, let's say. You could use a USB drive, right? That's kind of cool. That's an easy way of sharing it. It's just on the drive, and you can make updates right there. And, you can easily share it. But it would be really bad if it got in the hands of malicious actors. You can check in the config with secrets into Git repos, like we discussed. If you want to do that, make sure it's private. You want to make sure it stays private, let's say. So if your Git repo is ever not private, your keys are exposed. This also does not protect against insider threats, bad actors that are internal to your company. As well, you can pull down the repo, and guess what? This is the same exact thing as pulling down, storing your HAL config in Vault or S3, where you need to pull down the repo, and then now it's, again, on everyone's laptop. Is it secure? Is your laptop secure? And are your coworkers' laptops secure? I hope mine are. You can also use init containers to pull down secrets and write the secrets to a volume mount or source them in as environment variables. And this is not actually a bad solution. If you use Halyard, you'd have to add configs with the --no validate option. So then you're kind of missing out on the validation of your configurations. This is also a good amount of extra work. You're going to need to maintain it, et cetera. And this is non-standard, so everyone will come up with their own solution and not be able to share best practices as easily. Cool. So let's talk about how it works. So what we see a lot of the time is secrets are generally created out of band. You don't create secrets through Spinnaker, or you don't create secrets and put them directly in your HAL config. They're stored somewhere else. Stored in either S3, GCS, Vault, et cetera. So what we want to do with secrets management is rather than having your secrets in your configurations, you reference the secrets in your HAL config. So secrets, like we discussed a little bit earlier, they can be many different things. They can be just strings, keys, tokens, passwords, but they can also be files. So we need to treat them a little bit differently. In our current solution that we'll discuss soon, you don't have too much ability to choose whether you want your secret to be a file versus a string, but we're making improvements there, and we'll discuss this in a sec. Our solution as well, when we deploy secrets with secrets management, the Spinnaker services decrypt the secrets themselves, and the secrets are stored in memory only. So this is the secret format that we have today. You can reference files, and you can also reference keys in a file. So what's the difference here? For a kubeconfig file, you will want to reference the file itself. If you have let's say, a YAML that's stored in your Vault or S3, you can reference certain keys in that file as well. So if we see up here, you can see that our format is prepended with encrypted, and then each key value pair is delimited with a bang and separated with a colon. So we have encrypted in the secret store. Then in the case of S3, we have fields, region, bucket, and the path to the file in that bucket. If you want to reference a key in that file, you would add that option as well. So given a file that's in S3, located in US West 2, which is, I guess, now a thing, you have to say what region your bucket's in. And this is the location for the file, S3, my bucket, my kubeconfig. Then you would reference the content of the file with encrypted S3, bang, et cetera, et cetera. So this is like a concrete example of how you would reference a secret file in S3. And depending on what the encrypted secret is being used for, Spinnaker services might download the secret as a file or just use the contents as a value. So this was an iterative process. At first, we implemented secrets management just in Halyard. So Halyard would, upon deploy, download the secrets and deploy them in plain text onto the services. It would not store them locally and just deploy them, again, in plain text on the services. So the reason being is some older versions of Spinnaker they didn't have the ability to decrypt services. So Halyard would decrypt and then lay down the secrets on the respective services. So it doesn't lay down the secrets on every single service, it's only on the services that need them. Secrets exist on disk. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but if your service is ever compromised, that's just not a good thing. Currently, in today's world, services are able to decrypt secrets on their own, and the secrets are stored in memory, not on disk. Halyard still has the ability to decrypt secrets, and it does for validation purposes. It doesn't store the secrets on disk, though. So we have a couple supported secret stores. We have GCS as well as Amazon S3. Please reach out to us at armory.io/contact, the Armory channel in Spinnaker Slack. I also created a secrets@armory.io email address, so we want to see what secret stores you guys want added. Since this solution is easily extensible, anyone can add another backing store. Talk to me if you guys want to talk about that a little bit more. We're not the first people to do this type of work. There's examples in other projects as well. Some of our inspiration came in the form of prior art. So both Amazon S3 and Vault, you reference secrets in very similar ways. Rather than talking about the secret itself, you reference the location of the secret. All right, so let's do a quick demo. And apologies, it's not a live demo. This is pre-recorded. So, it's a little hard to see with the light. Apologies for that. On the right side of the screen, I'm doing a watch on the kubeconfig namespace. I'm doing kube control get pods for a namespace that doesn't exist yet. On the left side, I'm using the Armory Halyard installer in order to quickly set up Spinnaker. So I'm going through, giving my email address, telling it what namespace to use, what S3 bucket I want to store my configs and everything in, or rather for front 50 to use, et cetera, et cetera. Soon we'll start seeing, great, Spinnaker is now deploying resources, and we can see the pods come up soon. Awesome, we can see all our pods coming up. This is actually not that exciting, so I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. Has anyone used the Halyard Armory installer here? We've got one down there. Nice. Cool. So as we see, we're just waiting for Echo to start up. And then once that's up, we'll update our HAL command, or HAL configs in order to add secrets. So let's check it out. So what I'm doing here, and I highly recommend doing this when making edits to your HAL config if you're not doing a GitOps model. I'm just doing this for my laptop. So I cd into my .hal directory, and I do a git init. I'm not doing this to create a remote repository. This is just for a local git. So I'm committing all of the files that I have created from this initial deployment. Cool. So you can see there's a bunch of files that have been created. These are all in the staging directory as well as just the configs. So Halyard has split up all the configs and will then deploy them to the necessary resources. All right. So what am I doing here? I'm now going to copy the kubeconfig file that was generated, or rather my kubeconfig file, and I'm going to copy that to an S3 bucket that I previously created. All right, so copying that file over was a success. And now I'm going to update some of the config values in my kubeconfig. Sorry, in my HAL config file. I don't actually want to show you my HAL config because it does have my secret access key in there, as well as my kubeconfig location. Which is actually not that bad to share. Cool, so I updated the kubeconfig location to be in my S3 bucket. So encrypted S3, right? The region's US West 2. Bucket is my Cameron secrets test, and this is the file itself. I'm doing the same with the secret access key. I'm referencing the file that contains my secret access key. Cool. So as you can see, the only change right now has been in my config. And we can see that when I grep for additions, my kubeconfig has been updated as well as my secret access key. Oh, that is not able to see. So I'm doing a HAL deploy apply and applying my changes to the cluster. What HAL deploy does is it will take my configs and then make changes to all the files in staging and then deploy those to the services. Great, so that went well. Now let's check out the results. This is why I did the git init and committed the initial files. I want to see the differences now. Cool, so we can see now there's a bunch of files that have been changed. Even though I just changed two values in my configs, those are used in different places. Cool. Again, I just want to show you the additions in my git config, and nothing has changed since I ran the HAL deploy apply. Let's check out the other files, though. Yes, also note that my kubeconfig on my local host has been deleted. There's no reason for it to be there. Cool. And then let's check out the one of the front 50 files, and again, grep for the plus. And you can see this is what's laid down on front 50, and the file it's just a reference to the secret. Again, it's not stored on disk. And that's the end of the demo. Cool. Let's see. All right, so back to GitOps. Secrets management essentially enables GitOps. So by removing secrets from config files, you can safely store your configs in Git. You can review changes via PI. The more eyes, the better, right? This can also help with compliance. You have multiple people touching and checking each other's work. Right, so one person makes the secrets, one person adds the reference to the secret, and another person approves it. So this essentially enables separation of responsibilities. You can actually have different teams creating secrets and then just giving you references to them. This lowers the number of people with access to the keys to the kingdom. This is important. So Spinnaker is great for GitOps. You can actually use Spinnaker to deploy Spinnaker. This is not quite easy to do, but it's really badass if you can do it. Pipeline triggers from commit PRs will then trigger will trigger the pipeline to redeploy the service in question. Cool. So what are the next steps? So possible future enhancements, the token refresh. So rather than having to write a sidecar or something to refresh your secrets, each secret service should be able to refresh their tokens. This is not something that exists today, but it is something that I would really like to see myself. More secret store support as well. GCS and S3 are great, but it would be awesome to see more backing stores. I put encrypt secrets via Halyard. I actually don't think this is a great idea, but I don't really know how people are going to use this, so it's great to get feedback and input from the community so that we can build the right solution. It might be kind of cool to add secrets into Kubernetes secrets so that we're not having to add references to the configs as much, and they can use Kubernetes primitives in order to manage the secrets. So please let us know if you have other use cases. And secure your secrets today. We have some frequently asked questions and alternate solutions. Apologies, I think we got started a little late as well, so kind of rushing through this. So how does RBAC play into this? So Halyard and Spinnaker services need the correct roles in order to read from the secret store. This is kind of what's known as the first secrets problem. How do you access your secret store without a secret? Well, it's got to be somewhere. Now we have Kubernetes and AWS and Google Cloud, and they provide roles, and since they manage the infrastructure, they have a strong identity there. So why does Halyard need access to decrypted secrets? As we mentioned earlier, it's to perform account validation, deploy to clusters, etc. If Halyard does not have the kubeconfig file, well, it can't deploy to your cluster, right? And again, Halyard stores values in memory or as temporary files, and then they're removed, like you saw in the demo. So what about the staging directory? Like we saw in the demo, again, Halyard only writes the encrypted secrets to the staging directory, even if it doesn't decrypt it for validation purposes. Then what about rollbacks? So if you've installed Spinnaker in Kubernetes, configs are versioned. It does not roll back the secrets that are referenced, though. Right? So if you have a secret in S3, Spinnaker is not going to go and roll back that secret. What are alternate solutions? Spring Cloud Config Server is another alternate solution to this, to the secrets management solution that's in Spinnaker right now. Not all services are supported with Spring Cloud Config Server. I believe it's Cloud Driver, Echo, and Igor. Halyard can still validate configs, though, with this solution. And it does integrate with many services out of the box, Vault, Git, etc. All right, do we have any questions? Yes?
I missed the way to encrypt and decrypt the files if it's encrypted in...
Oh, sorry, one sec.
I missed if you explained how it's being encrypted, or it's stored on the S3 bucket encrypted, or just plain text file on the S3?
Plain text file in S3, yeah.
Does it support KMS or something like this to encrypt the files? So
Not currently.
Really encrypted?
Not currently, but that would be a great, that would be a great addition to it.
Okay, thanks.
Could please reach out and add that, please. Yeah.
Any other questions?
By the way, there's a security SIG channel in OSS Slack. I'm in there, so and we have another guy, Brandon, here at work at Armory that co-leads it. So please hop on in that channel and give us some suggestions.
Yeah, so my question is, we've been doing vaulting for about a decade now, come from a banking industry. So all of our secrets are managed in a pretty mature vaulting solution. passwords are rotated out of band. So there is no concept, like we don't know when we go to connect to something if the password that we retrieved from the vault is the same password. So how would that work in a solution like Spinnaker? So basically every time you need to use that secret, you must check to see if it is accurate at this point.
So you're asking for token refresh essentially, or rather refreshing?
I mean, token's just one type of secret, right? But
Yeah.
it's one of these scenarios where we actually never, actually a human never would put a password into an S3 bucket. This is all automated.
Totally.
Once you've onboarded your secret, all of that management is taken out of your hands intentionally.
I see. So what you're saying is the reference would never change. It's just the one secret, and then it gets rotated over time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how are those secrets added to Vault or to the service? Is there some you said there's some automation?
There's obviously an operational aspect of adding an account to a vault.
Yes.
Once it's in the vault, that account is immediately rotated, and at that point, the password is no longer human accessible.
Awesome. So what I would recommend in that case, just coming off the top of my head, is have a pipeline that is triggered by a webhook and would redeploy the service in question. So you could, as part of that automation step, hit the webhook trigger and have a pipeline redeploy those services.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to hear a little bit more about that. So if you could reach out as well, that would be great.
So you're mentioning the Kubernetes secrets. One popular add-on out there is external secrets by the GoDaddy, and so with the external secrets, you could basically use an external secret system like Vault or something else instead of the normal built-in Kubernetes secret system. One of the ones we're using is AWS Secrets Manager. So we indirectly reference what secrets we want, and then with the proper credentials, it pulls out the secrets from that, and it just fetches their own secrets.
Is that in OSS, or is there an RFC for that?
That's open source.
Is it in the Spinnaker project? Sorry.
This is not a part of the Spinnaker project. It's just part of the Kubernetes community.
Totally.
So it's out there.
Gotcha.
Anyone could use and integrate. And it has a way, their model is you could plug in different types of external secrets.
Yes.
It's kind of like external DNS, but for secrets. If that makes sense.
Can you paste a link to that in the Slack channel that was created for this session?
Yeah, that's...
Can you paste a link to what you're talking about in the Slack channel they created for this session?
So one thing that I think is a good point to note is that Spinnaker is always evolving, right? So right now as we noted earlier, there's an alternate solution there. I'm not a big fan of having multiple solutions. With the caveat, it would be great if it was pluggable, right? So I don't know if any of you attended the plugins talk yesterday, but I think plugin, like a pluggable secrets interface would be great so that you could choose which secrets solution you want to use. Yes?
I missed the plugin talk yesterday. Is that just like adding jars to the class path, essentially?
The MVP version is doing that. However, that's going to be deprecated at some point in the near future. We're moving to PF4J as a framework. So there's going to be explicit...
Is that what Jenkins uses?
I'm not sure what Jenkins uses, actually. So that's going to have like explicit extension points. So that requires some work to create like stable interfaces that, for plugin creators. We are trying to get more use cases for that, though. So if you want to hop in the plugins talk or the platform SIG channel and leave a comment, that'd be great. The more use cases we have, the better we know what to build.
You said there's a channel called plugins or something?
There is a plugins channel as well, yeah. So we're many places for feedback.
And platform SIG?
Correct, yes.
Well, any other questions? No? We all feel more secure? Good. Well, thank you, Cameron.
Thanks very much.